A battle to wage and a war to win, but I had been fighting those for so long and all for naught. What did it matter whether this king or that sat on the French throne? They would all be dead soon enough, and the lords that supported them and the men who died fighting for them, and so what was the use in fighting? But on reading Stephen's letter, I felt an ember deep within me begin to burn once more. Could it be true, I wondered, that Stephen had uncovered an immortal in Brittany, and a powerful immortal at that? Scanning the words again and again, I felt the stirring of my true purpose once more. I quickly summoned back to London Walter and Rob, engaged 3 trusted young valets, and arranged for our journey across the Channel to Nantes in Brittany, where Stephen was currently employed. On his most recent period away from England, Stephen had fulfilled an old ambition by attending the College of Sorbonne in Paris to study theology and law, and thence had become a lawyer for the Church. His intellectual excellence, enhanced through his unnatural long life, had enabled his swift progression through the institution. Despite his repeated insistence to his masters that he lacked any professional ambition, he soon found himself so well regarded that he was able to apply for, and was granted, a position in the episcopal see of Nantes. Why would such a brilliant young man, they asked him, seek to bury himself so far from Paris, which was the centre of learning for all the earth? Of all the great lords of the Church that you could serve, why request the service of the Bishop of Nantes? Stephen had made his typically smooth excuses, and they in turn had waved him off as another fool who would rather never reach his potential than to fail in the attempt. But it was not the bishop himself that attracted Stephen, nor the lowly position as episcopal notary, but instead was whispered rumours that had travelled all the way from the distant wastelands of Brittany to the grand halls of Paris. Rumours that hinted at a great and bloody evil. Some months after his curious relocation to Nantes, Stephen sent his scrawled letter. One line in that letter was ever on my mind during the journey, and I wondered what it might mean and who it might refer to. The subject of said rumours is a man known to you, and is one of remarkable power. Damn you, Stephen, I muttered on the dockside in London. Why must he speak in unanswerable riddles? At my side, Walt shrugged. Likes being clever, don't they? We crossed from London to Nantes by ship, travelling along the southern coast of England across to the northern coast of Normandy, and then following that dangerous craggy coast around headland after headland, in choppy dark seas, until finally we reached Saint-Nazaire, in the mouth of the Loire. From there we travelled upriver to the great city of Nantes. Strange, Walter said as we passed through that country. Strange to be back here again. We stood at the rail of the boat as it sailed upriver on the flood tide, pushed by a stiff westerly wind. It was cold, and spring seemed delayed, as if the land lacked the strength to throw off the remains of winter. Is it strange? Rob asked wistfully. Seems fitting to me. We brought much evil to these parts. Wonder if they remember us, Walt said, if they remember the White Dagger Company and that bloody banner we fought under. Rob nodded. A field of red with yellow flames beneath, rising up to touch the white dagger in the centre. Who could forget it? It was not evil we brought, but justice, I said, and all who lived then are long dead, as are their grandchildren. Whatever strangeness you feel comes not from the land, but from your own imaginations. Pull yourselves together. They said nothing in response, which spoke volumes about their true thoughts, and the truth was I felt disquieted myself, not so much by memories of the distant past when I had hunted Brittany and Poitou for the Black Knight, Geoffrey de Charny, but by more recent ones. Our disastrous losses to the French a few years before had shaken me to such an extent that I was not the same man as I had been. It seemed so unnatural that our veteran army had been defeated by a mad young woman still in her maidenhood, an unholy reversal of the true order of things, and it was simply the final insult for our nation, which seemed to me to be in sharp decline. The Loire, up which we sailed, was the great river of France, stretching more than 600 miles from the central highlands in the south, up and across the land to the west coast, and its waters fed the richest valley in Christendom. The very same river had formed the limit of the English dominion in the war, making a great front line upon which our armies had pressed for years. It was the